Who has Fazio's money?
Something interesting. People said he didn't have any money. We're talking about Fazio here. Okay, if you remember back, I'm not going to wait till anybody comes on here. You can see the show afterwards. You remember a couple of years ago when he was in the bank and he was showing you the stack of money, and it looked like there had to have been about 500,000 pesos there. How does it look like anyway? Somewhere around there. Now, what was going on with that money? Now, if he has a bank account, I'd like to know who has access to his bank account. Does Daisy? Who does? And what happens to his money in a bank? Now, if you remember, this would have been a better upload than a live. I remember when he was at that bank several years back, trying to show off that he had money. It was probably 3 or more years back, and he had a stack of money there. He's like he's talking to this teller or something. He's sitting down there, and he had a stack of what looked like 100,000 each. There was a stack. It could have been up to 500,000 pesos. Well, what happened to that money? Was that even his at all? There might be a little treasure chest out there if Daisy does the right looking, but who has the right to his bank account? His brother said he don't want to get involved with anything, all right? But his brother certainly wanted the death certificate. That was brought up. He did. All he wanted was the death certificate. What, so he could collect 400? No, he can't collect anything on him. He wasn't getting Social Security. I think that's the point. But I do remember, going back a number of years, he's trying to show people, hey, I got money. And he had this stack of money. He was talking to this bank gal or something there. Do you guys remember that at all? At all? Because I do. Under these situations, who gets his money? Can you say I'm a long lost relative and walk in there and take over his account? No, you can't do that. He had money in the bank. I think on his house that was already going to be going under and never paid him back. And that's how he had the money to come to the Philippines. Because what did he spend on? Think about it. What really did Fazio spend his money on? Not much, except pork, occasional can of paint. He bought the rebar bender, and that's about maybe 3,000 US. Okay, we could account for that. But I truly remember him when he was at a bank. He was at a bank. He was at a bank, and he had this stack of money, and it must have been about 500K. Surely you must remember that. So, can Daisy get into his bank account? I don't think she could. Now, unless, and that would be illegal too, if she found his debit card and has his passcode, she could go in that ATM every day and clean him out if he had money in there. But that would be illegal because it's not her account. Unless he put the account under her name too in the event. There's a lot of things people aren't thinking about here. I kind of see between the lines here. Am I fooling myself or is he fooling all of us? Don't kid yourself. He had some money in the bank. It may not be a grand fortune. I don't think so. But don't forget how he got to the Philippines. Before the house went under, he went over there and he borrowed from the house. He refinanced the house at least for 50,000 bucks. At least. And what has he been living on? You know he don't spend his money, and he'll fight it with a truck driver over 2 pesos. So with that in mind, I say, I don't know what you say, but I say that he had money in the bank. That's what I'm thinking here. And what happens if somebody dies and your money is in the bank? Generally, when you open up an account at a bank, you're going to write down who is your beneficiary for that. Who's to say that Daisy, as she's not saying anything, did not get the money he had in the bank? She's riding high on the saddle is what I think. And I think she possibly even sold that diary to fucking Butthead Brevis. I wouldn't be surprised about that either. Nobody should be reading his diary anyway, let's face the fact. There might be some really gross things in there, and I don't think I'd even want to read it, to tell you the truth. The guy was a little bit off kilter, not a little bit off, he was off. And why would you write a diary anyway? Because when you die, somebody's going to read it, right? I mean, what is the purpose of a diary? It's meant for somebody to read. Well, what? You're going to write a diary, you're going to go back on your diary and just read back on it, and that's why you're writing a diary? I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe I'll never get it, but something's fishy here. I smell something rotten in Rotterdam. He had money in the bank. I'll almost guarantee you that he had money in the bank. Can Daisy touch it? Can the brother touch it? Is the brother playing rather coy? Well, I don't want nothing to do. Where's, what's his name? Gary? What's this guy's name? Dave? Or the one that was close to, that gave us a lot of information about Fazio, about his death and all that shit. Where is he? Because he might know something we don't, but he's the one that came out with a lot of information on there. The one thing people haven't been very observant of, or even given consideration, is that he probably had money in the bank, but he didn't want to touch it. I don't know what he thought he was doing with that money. And you would think if he had that money, if he was really serious about building some structure, as he would want to build a hotel, I would think that he had the money to start it up, but he wanted other people to build it for him so he didn't have to spend. Remember, he was a hoarder. I know we've come to, other than Flying Circus, who's in love with Fazio. I think a lot of us don't mention him too often. And I'm trying to veer off and actually talk about this guy because he wasn't exactly my favorite person, but it's just kind of come to thought, what was that all about? When he was at the bank at that time, maybe 4 years ago, is that what it was? Showing us that stack of money, those were all 1,000 notes. Where's that money? Where did it go? Small fortune for somebody. To a Filipino would be. And what does a bank do with somebody who is deceased and there's no recipient for that money? Anybody want to come in on that one? What does the bank do with it? Becomes the bank's property? Could be. There could be something to this. But we don't got many people kind of sharing in their thoughts right now, so maybe after this show somebody will relay some thoughts on this. Because I'm pretty sure he had some money in the bank. I don't think he was as destitute as you think he was. As being a hoarder is not going to let loose of money. That's why they hoard things. They'll even buy things they don't need just to buy it, to look like they have something. But I'm pretty convinced he's got money in the bank, and nobody wants to talk about that. I think somebody knows out there. I think somebody knows. And I think Daisy knows. The first thing she's going to be thinking of, come on, guys, seriously, is how much, and did he ever share with her how much he had in the bank? Because I'm sure he confided with Daisy on a whole lot of shit. He would, because he felt he trusted her. Up until the point that, well, she found a boyfriend and he didn't know about it. He thought the whole time she was spending time because of this wedding deal that she was going to with her friend, until her picture came out with this guy, and that's when he knew that, well, there was some shit going on he wasn't aware of. In fact, I introduced that picture. I'm the one that introduced the photo. Came off her Facebook. That was shared with me, and I shared it with you. And when he saw that, he went ape. He fell apart. Then he turned around and said, I knew about that. I knew she was seeing somebody. No, he did not know she was seeing somebody. He did not know that for sure. That's why he was so reactive to it initially. Then came up with a cover-up story. We had an amicable breakup. Well, breakup? Wait a minute. They weren't a team. Okay, Fazio had cash in local bank. He vlogged it about 2 years ago. Yeah, I know he did. I remember. Do you remember he was at the bank? It was on video. There was a stack of money on the desk. Whose could it be but his? There was a lady there, and I guess she's a banker or something, or teller. It was somebody's money. It had to be his money, William. It had to be. Whose money could it have been? I think Daisy knew a lot more than she was willing to let on. And somehow, maybe he tied her into that bank account because he put his trust in her. He probably said to her many times, if something happens to me, this is my bank code. Or he wrote up some paperwork saying that if something happened to me, that this money was not going to go to his brother in any form or way. No, that it was going to go to her. I think it might have been more than 2 years ago. I'm not sure. Very interesting here, huh? I don't think nobody's ever talked about this before. Other than me, of course. Now, look, he's not my favorite topic about it, I can tell you that. But I will tell you that something smells fishy in Rotterdam. And I'm going to get to the bottom of it. No, I really don't give a shit. I mean, I'm just bringing this up because, well, truthfully, there is something suspicious about all this. There really is. There's no doubt. Who's getting the money? The whodunit mystery. Who's getting the money? Who's getting the money? Huh? Come on. Who's getting the money? You know damn well about this guy as well as I know. That he was cheap. He was tight. He was petty. I gotta get some water here, guys. Hold on. Hold on here. With you in a second. All right. I guess I'm just talking out loud, really, about this. I can't see the bank getting it. That would be a shame. That money could be given to a small foundation for local kids or something. But maybe that's all he really had left. Is about 500,000 or something like that. But he wanted to show off, you know. You obviously know him. He wanted to show off in his own way. Me, I don't show off. I may have presented money. I don't keep that kind of shit at the house, number one. The time I did a show on this was about the other day when I said I was transferring money to a bank, which I did because of the limitations on insurance in a bank that you're only covered for $500K. That's it. That's all you're covered for. If something did happen nationally or something here, you'd be up Schitt's Creek probably on getting the rest of that money back. And Fazio knew that too. I think he had a couple of bank accounts. He was arguing about one bank. He was going to go to another bank, arguing with everybody, the teller, whatever, about something or another. There was always something. Always something. So, should we care? Should anybody give a shit, really? It's not our money. But you get curious. If you get to know somebody and you get to put together your own evaluation of what's really going on with that guy. We knew he was petty. We knew he was crazy. But I still think that he acted like a pauper to get donations just like the other guy did, the one that's sitting in jail, and try to make people feel sorry for him. Look at me, I'm living in a little shack, which is sick enough as it is. And if you've seen the video that Brevis put out, of course Brevis had to be there. Of course. Put his nose in everything. Well, I'm sure he walked away with a few trinkets from that place. I'm sure he did. Knowing this guy, I'm sure he did. What was it his business to go over there anyway? He did not like Fazio. All of a sudden, taking the high road. We've got a lot of high roaders out there. It's a whole new club now. You heard of Triple R, but this is the HRC, the High Road Club. All taking the high road. What a great guy Fazio was. What a wonderful specimen of a human. What a nice guy. Yeah, right. Viper snakes are nice too, right? So are cobras. But I see between the cracks with this shit here. He had money in the bank. I'm not sure what he was saving it for. I really don't know. But he even got everybody when he died. He used to get you to pay for everything. So what happened? He dies and he still got people to pay for him. People put money together and paid for his funeral and his plot. The guy was a genius in his own way, wasn't he? He was. He knew what he was doing. He might have been batshit crazy, but he knew what he was doing. All these weirdos that show up on my show here, where do they come from? I don't know. I just gotta get rid of these people. Okay. I mean, look, it's not going to benefit me from knowing this. I just get a curiosity about this stuff, knowing the way the guy was. He's dead and gone. Let's leave it that way, but it doesn't mean you can't be curious about something. So much for the allergy pills, I'll tell you that. I think, personally, that he kind of played the role of, I mean, look at me, I'm living in a shack, I'm not doing very well. I got to form a membership, you got to pay X amount of money every month. to bring income in because he did not want to dig into his own money. That is my theory. He was tight, he was cheap, and he was very inventive, extremely inventive. Yeah, he was a Cuddy put hoarder. He wasn't broke. I never really thought he was broke. I never really thought he was. He reminded me of some people I've seen in New York City that looked like they lived on the street, and they did. But yet they had sizable bank accounts. They didn't wear nice clothing. They didn't find nice accommodations with all that money because they were mentally ill. My brother has a son in Indiana, and he's like kind of like not totally all there, but he works a job all these years, drives a car, he's functional, and he don't spend his money on shit. His mom died, and well, the house he's living in, his mom bought. He could have had his grandparents' house when they died. He didn't want it because it reminded him of the grandparents too much. She sold the house and got money from that. She sold a lot of her land holdings out there. She got money for. She had money previously. And when her kid, which is my brother's kid, the mom of my brother's kid, she died about a year ago of cancer. She, had everything set up for her son. And he doesn't know numbers very well. He don't realize how much he's got in the bank because he never deals with cash, always his debit card. And he's been working for like 30, what is it? He's been working for about, 45 now or something around there. 43? 42. He's been working for like probably over 20 years or more at this hospital. And he don't spend his money. His mom, if anything, bought him several vehicles. He had 2 vehicles. And she bought him a house, and then put him into another house. And now he's having a swimming pool made in his yard. He doesn't know money. He doesn't handle money. Some people have these little problems. They seem to be functional people. He's not autistic. It's something like that, but it's different. But he's a functional. And if you asked him, what height he is, he'll tell you his weight or something like that. It's just really weird. I mean, he's functional, but some people like that with some kind of mental illness where they don't really know numbers. He has no clue because his mom inherited money from her parents because her mother was more wealthier than her father. She even owned a tractor company out there. She gave it up. I can't believe it, to her ex-husband. I cannot believe she did that. Now he's sitting in fucking Bermuda with a little umbrella in his drink. I don't know why she did that. It was either the house or the business, and she let him have the business. And right away, he sold that business and made a lot of money. So he's sitting there drinking in the sun some umbrella drinks. That was really stupid of her. She's smarter than that. But she got everything in her son's name. She has somebody who handles, which is her husband, who's still living, is the executor. Then she has other people that's watching his money. And he made a lot of money from his wife's debt, too. He's got the house and whatever else. But there's a certain amount of money that he's managing for her son. It's amazing. There's some people that they don't even know what they're worth. Crazy shit, man, huh? Oh, money. Money. Not knowing what you're worth. Because it never mattered to my nephew. Never mattered to him. He just knows that he has a card and he uses it. He doesn't. I don't think he realizes what he's worth. I mean, not just the money that he inherited, but it's actually the money that he's made on his job all these years, 20, 25 years or more. Really. That's crazy. And every now and then he sends a little something, not much to my brother. But a lot of situations, had to go through his mother when she was alive, and she didn't get along with my brother. She did not want anybody to give my brother any money at all. Nope, nope, nope. But Butch, who's the ex-husband, he's sort of an okay guy. And his son actually came all the way to Hawaii, which I thought was incredible, to visit my brother, because my brother hadn't seen him since he was 5 years old. They always talk on the phone all the time, but the mother was not allowing my brother to communicate with his son for all these years until so many years later. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because it's kind of interesting how this kind of worked out. His son, who he's close with on the telephone, and he did go to see him, but he had to have somebody with him, was supposed to be a good friend of his stepfather, Butch. And this woman used to be maybe an ex-girlfriend of Butch. You follow me so far? I know it sounds complicated. But if anything, she was stealing money from my brother's son in the hotel. He caught her in the hotel. What the hell was she doing with his wallet or something? He couldn't find his wallet. She's supposed to look after him, but she spent the whole time in a bar trying to pick up men and shit. Pretty interesting shit, huh? Like I said, they're all fucking dysfunctional. All right, anyway. Do we need to get anything?
No, I need to go down too.
I'm going to go town. Like Mark Thompson.
Tomorrow's school days.
Kind of what?
School days.
School days?
Need something to buy for easy cook for kids early morning.
What for early morning? For what?
Like something.
You mean for breakfast?
Yeah, guys. Easy cook in the morning.
Yeah, we got to get out of here, folksies.
It's nice to eat halo. It's so hot.
It's hot, isn't it? I know it's hot out there. We had a little bit of rain. What was it? Last night? A little bit?
Last night.
Came down a little bit, but that was it. It's very dry. It's very dry out here. You see the grass in the field is all brown. Cows look like they're in starvation. They're not eating much.
They have a bananas there. Later na lang we do for scarlet.
Well, we help out,
Yeah. Give to the cow.
Dream Man, of course, Dream Man. You just tune your ass in on here. He has lots of stories. Yeah, the drama of life itself. Life is a drama. Being so privileged, you don't realize how privileged you are, like my brother's son.
I thought only the Filipinos like drama, but most...
No, there's more drama with foreigners than there is Filipinos. Oh, are you kidding me?
Like
no, there's more drama with foreigners.
More drama and more chismes.
There is.
Yeah.
And then they say that women, chica, whatever. But no, it's men. It's men. I mean, look at me. I'm talking about some stuff on here today, which proves it, right?
Yeah,
we like sharing a good story when we got one, right? Yeah. If it's worth sharing, it's one of those situations. But yeah, some people don't even realize how much money they got. They just use a debit card. All they know is I don't have to. I know that every time I use that debit card, I'm getting money out of that machine. They probably don't even look at their balance. I mean, in this situation, I believe that's true. he must know something. I mean, how could he not be curious? He's just mentally not good with numbers, okay? He doesn't know numbers very well. Unless you have to spell it out to him and say, dude, you're worth like, I don't know, $3 million or something. I'm sure he's worth a few million at least. But he still won't help out his father that much. Throw him a 300 there, 300 there, or something. He bought him a chair once when he came down. But he was not able to fly and travel on his own. So he had this kind of like girlfriend who was kind of like a special needs type girlfriend that came with him. But then another woman came.
They give 3,000.
Huh?
They give 3,000.
Yeah, he gave him 3,000 when he came down to my brother. He gave him three.
No, one time they put there in the mailbox.
No, that wasn't three.
How much that one?
No, he gave him 3,000. I think when he visited him. They
So
gave him.
How much that money they give there in the mailbox? They put in the mailbox.
Maybe 600 or something. He helped his father a little bit. That's my brother. He helped him a little bit, a little bit, not much. Well, my brother needed a breeding machine, some portable deals. Probably about $3,000 or so on that. He didn't buy him something like that. Whatever. That's his gig, Really nothing to do with me. Other than hearing all this shit from my brother and all that. I mean, it's really nothing to do with me. I don't even talk to my nephew really on the phone. I don't even have his phone number really. I used to talk to him on the phone every now and then. Kind of faded away. One of those days. Yeah. Yawn City, man.
Yawn City.
Well, I hope you enjoy my stories. They're always so homely, down to earth, and, I don't have a bunch of people on at this time. Because 17 watching here. Fazio wasn't broke. He was a could he put a hoarder. Yeah, well,
Dream.
Absolutely know that. So there is money in his bank, and who gets it? Who gets the money? What happens if you die, you have money in a bank? There's nobody to claim it. The bank just takes it, right?
Yeah.
They find out you're dead, right?
Yeah.
Unless you have a beneficiary.
If you know the code.
Well, if you know the code, but if you're given permission, if you're dead and somebody's taking out your money from the ATM, isn't that kind of illegal?
No.
Maybe they can get them.
Like my cousin. When the husband died, the husband is the sana siya? French.
Mm-hmm.
Then if they know the access for the bank accounts, she can take that money.
Yeah, I guess if you got the coding, you can do that. But the one thing you can't do, if you're a Filipina and you're together with a foreigner, he's collecting Social Security, and you go to the bank and there's Social Security being deposited in there, and you withdraw that, you're a big ass.
When the husband died, and then all my cousin's gold, bank account, everything, they're in the safety box.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the husband died, they cannot open the safety box, so they cannot use everything there because it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Even they broke the safety box, they cannot get it because it's too heavy and it's
the security box.
Yeah.
Oh, they had a security box.
They bought that one, the security box from Brunei.
From Brunei.
Yeah, they bring here.
Okay.
Oh my God, they cannot open. So they're waiting for the kids.
What I started to say was that, if you're getting Social Security and your girlfriend or something like that, if she's going to the machine, the ATM, and withdrawing, you see, the embassy and everything has to let the United States know that you're dead.
You need to report that one in the embassy.
Yeah, you have to report the debt to the embassy, and that information will get out to the government. Social Security know that Fazio's pet. Well, he wasn't receiving no Social Security. My understanding, he was not receiving any Social Security. I'm just giving an example that let's say I am on Social Security, and my partner here, she has my card for that, and she knows my code. Now, you'd be able to say that she could take out money anytime she wants on there. Well, she could, but
No,
unfortunately,
no, you
she
cannot
can't take
take
anything
out.
from my United States account, which is my Social Security account, if I passed on, because they will come after her.
Yeah.
They will come after her for that money. So you have to leave the money in there and leave it up to the bank to figure it out. Social Security is eventually going to know, and they'll be able to withdraw it from that bank account, I'm sure, to get that money back. That's what I'm thinking.
Because when your daddy asking for the death certificate.
You got to have a death certificate. Somebody's
Yeah,
going to want a copy of that.
the death
It's a
certificate.
hassle when you're alive and it's a hassle when you're dead. Either way, there's always some work to do on something. There's always paperwork you have to do, dead or alive.
Yes.
So let's say someone had a fortune in the bank. I'm sure this has happened countless times in the world. And you didn't list a beneficiary. Too bad. Because the bank will eventually take that money.
It's better you make a test,
A will.
a will.
Yeah. No, but he was not receiving any Social Security, is my understanding, okay? He was living off the money he embezzled off his bank in the house in Florida. And that's what he had to dig into now and then. And then with the combination of getting some donations here and there, he didn't have to dig into his money too much. There's times he had to dig into it when his donations were slow. You're married, your spouse gets your benefits with Social Security, yes.
My friend lagi, when the husband died, but they married here in Philippines, but they didn't bring to for the foreign country. And then when they go back there, they want to process for the disposal uh, paperwork. And then he died there in their country, and they didn't take anything.
You know?
No.
There's some strange situations going out there with people when they die, when they just did not set up the right information. They didn't list any beneficiaries, next of kin, anything like that.
And then they have one kid.
Maybe they have a kid that could benefit from this, but, didn't include the kid on the paperwork, and the kid doesn't get any money. He'd have to challenge this in court. Well, anyway, we're kind of on the subject of Fazio, who's an enigmatic person, an enigma in his own rights, and a mystery man of sorts.
They have a lot of tools.
Yeah, they were all rusty and painted yellow. Nothing he had was worth shit except a rebar bender. His computer was probably filthy and disgusting. The place was just so totally unhygienic that I don't know if anybody would want anything from that place. Everything was deteriorating from termites if it was made
They
out of
have
wood.
they have a backhoe.
Well, there's a backhoe there, whatever. But as to who really owns it, that's another thing. He's kept it on his lot. It was always in poor mechanical shape. There's nothing to dig anyway because he wasn't building anything. He's just getting there to show him a real man knows how to work a backhoe or something. That's all he did was put on a show for that. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He really didn't. He really didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He came up with so many tall tales and his shows were so long, I just could not listen to him. I'd actually physically fall asleep. And his face and his voice was not something I used to listen to all the time anyway.
It's already
He was
done.
an accident ready to happen. I knew it, but that's all over now. I warned him of something and didn't listen, and now he's dead.
So now all the tools is already sold.
No, I don't know what she's. She has various Filipinos coming by there and all that. I don't know what, as Mick Fisher said. I don't know how much they got rid of, really. Mick Fisher says if you die with no will, your assets go to probate court. Okay. A judge decides which and how much your relatives get of your assets. That's if your relatives are looking into this. Oh, there's a lot of probates going on. A lot of times, somebody who dies, I mean, there were certain family members they just did not get along with and did not want them to have any of your freaking money. And they were adamant about it.
Mostly, if the persons die, they become the relatives.
Oh, yeah, they come out of the woodworks. Relatives that you were not close to, you may not have seen or heard for 20 years.
Yeah,
They hear you die,
they become the relatives.
and they come out of the woodwork like cockroaches when the lights go out.
They get what they can get.
They get what they can get. They weren't even close to you. And probably the guy that died, or a woman, or whatever it might have been, probably had no wants to give any of these relatives any money at all, or certain relatives. Why did he always hold on to her? Oh, when he was sitting there in his chair? I think because he made a wooden chair, didn't even have a real chair. Maybe it was imbalanced. Because he was overweight. And maybe this makeshift box, whatever he sat on, was not totally just balanced out. The floor is uneven, and maybe he hung. Yeah, I noticed he did that a lot too. I did notice that. Yeah. Maybe in case he fell back or something, he had the rope to hold on to or something. An enigma. That's who he was.
It's raining.
Where is it raining?
Singapore.
Oh, Singapore. His daughter's in Singapore, man. And she's going to boast. Not only did she get me some nice teas last time, but she's probably going to get me some nice dark chocolate somewhere. Remember, if you want to buy dark chocolate, get 70% cocoa or above to 90% or whatever. That's the only good dark chocolate that has all the great stuff. So she dyed her hair blonde?
Yeah, she is.
I don't even recognize her with that hair. I mean, let me see that. She ain't looking bad, though. Tell you that. She's got a daughter that's like 28 years old.
29.
Oh, she's 29 now.
Stadium.
She's looking good. She's looking really good. She kind of made her hair lighter, like a lot of Filipinos do.
Yeah.
Let me see that one that shows her. Well, since this doesn't show her face, I could show my viewers that it's not really showing her face. And this is her 29-year-old. I could show her. It doesn't matter. That's her 29-year-old daughter here. And let's see maybe a picture of her face. She dyed her hair blondish or lighter or something. She got some good-looking kids. Well, you got to make that bigger. I can't see that. Well, that's the behind of her. That's behind. This is at the, what do you call concert in Singapore? Taylor Swift. She's bon vivant, travels to Singapore to go see the Taylor Swift concert. La-di-da, huh? Yeah. Enough. We don't want to really show too much of her. Didn't even really show her face, so.
Concert.
And that's the footage of Taylor Swift?
Yeah, concert.
I thought they don't allow cell phones in these concerts.
No, it's
because
allowed.
people pirate this. It's allowed, really?
Yeah.
I know they were really
She's in
strict.
VIP, man. VIP chair.
She was in a VIP chair? Yeah. Why was she in a VIP chair?
She bought a ticket to VIP.
Boy, your daughter, man. Where's she getting all this freaking money, man? Oh, that's Taylor Swift singing. This is at the concert in Singapore the other day, man. what you're looking at. You never go to the concert. Here it is, and I'll get in trouble for this one. Oh well. Here it is. You're looking at a Taylor Swift concert from, was it yesterday, 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
Of course, she made money, Taylor Swift. Holy crap. It's amazing. I'm not even familiar with most of her songs or nothing. I'm not really not into pop music. Okay, for that, I'm probably going to get in trouble already. That was Taylor Swift. Her bon vivant daughter's traveling around the country and stuff. Well, her job pays, for some things, and some things she goes on her own. Nice to be young and free. Well, she has a boyfriend, but he works out of the country half the time or more. And they get together here and there. But they got a good relationship. So if you could hold on to that and do good, that's fine.
They had Korean concert in Japan. She want to go there too.
She wants to see a Korean concert in Japan.
Yeah, the one that I don't know what.
I don't know where your daughter's getting all this money. I know her job. Her boyfriend helps her out too, but my God. If you're listening to this shit,
She
folks,
have
which
no good
obviously are.
money.
She seems to do well on her own, really.
She have money.
She's a CPA, certified public accountant, first of all. Yeah. So she does well. My girlfriend's kids are doing well, and a lot of them are going to do well too. And they're very well adjusted. Nice to see. And they're go-getters. She has her other daughter, which is the second oldest down the line. Shit, she now is operating 3-bed and breakfast in IT Park. She didn't buy the condo. She's smart. She's leasing it out from the owner, making a B&B out of it. She started with one, and we go there now and then. That's where we stay sometimes when it's available. And she acquired another one. Now she's on her third B&B. They know their shit. They know what they're doing. Who knows? Maybe my girlfriend will get involved with that someday herself. Maybe she is already.
You don't know.
Only the shadow knows.
You don't
Money
know.
don't fall from heaven, my friends. It doesn't fall from heaven. It doesn't work that way. Yeah. For all you know, I could be operating with my girlfriend, as much as 10 different B&Bs. You wouldn't know that, would you? Because I wouldn't tell you if I did. Is there any truth to that? I don't know. Yeah, Taylor Swift is bubblegum music. I know that. I don't listen to that shit. Well, her bubblegum turned into, she's like worth about $1 billion now or something. She's like one of the most highest paid entertainers in the world. Praise Jesus. There you go. I knew a Bible thumper was going to come on here sooner or later. They always do. And I always get rid of them. Okay, that's all I feel to really talk about, guys. Boy, I really get into it, don't I? I've covered just about everything, really. My brother's kid, his inability to really know numbers. I mean, I went through everything on here. One show. Imagine that. Fazio. Fazio's riches. Who said that men don't gossip, right? I got news for you guys. Men are the biggest gossipers in the world. It's not women like you thought they were. You all do that. Everybody has something to say about somebody, right? That's true. Even me. I'm a gossiper. We all are. You can't really do a show completely without a little chismis, a little gossip. People love it. They're drawn to that, like flies, bugs in the night are drawn to a flame. That's just the way it is. Or like cockroaches come out of the woodwork when the lights go out. That's just the way it is. Okay, sniff, sniff, and I'm all worn out. I did some crazy sex on on a makeshift trapeze over here today. That is Leo from Frio. Hey, man. Al De Winter inherited the rebar bender for sure. Hey, Leo from Frio. I like that. You're in here a little late unless you've just been kind of hanging around. But I'm about to get off here anyway. You know, not literally. That's already happened. But with that being said, it is interesting to kind of see where this goes if you could find out the big secret, what happened to Fazio's money. Did Daisy May hit the gold mine after all? And she ain't saying a goddamn thing about it. Everybody wants a piece of that pie. And I want a large chunk of it. After what he's done to me, I want all of it.
It's already die.
I want his bank account. Hey, the motherfucker cost me 100,000 pesos. I want 100,000 pesos back. That's what it cost me for my fucking lawyer when I had to go to the MBI with him. He owes me 100,000 fucking pesos. Yeah. I'm the one that should have been searching through his shack and to find that hidden spot. He was even supposed to have some jewelry from his mother. Some jewelry from his mother. Who got that? The plot thickens. The plot thickens. And I'm no Charles Dickens, so I have to go. Thank you, Leo Frio and Damon and everybody else who was on here. Mick Fisher, thank you for coming by again, sir. Dream Man. William, of course, William. Always pops in here. Not a big crowd today, but that's okay. If anybody shows up on my show, I'm lucky. It's just one of those channels, you know. Yeah, I'm one of those channels. It's a hit or miss type situation. Okay, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks for coming by. We'll do about 50 other shows later. Am I exaggerating? Probably not. Okay.